Earth 1969, and in San Francisco, California, local radio was in its heyday.
Yeah, a little rock candy there. That, of course, by Brother Jack McDuff, and that's another one recorded live over in the big city of San Fran.
In the 1960s and 70s, 64% of the radio stations in the city by the Bay were locally owned, and over 90% featured local programming.
Chasbo here, very purple, 3.5 stories down in Subterraneanville.
This is a guy that looks like he just came off a buffalo hunt.
Hey, listen, I had beef jerky for breakfast. You got to look the part, man. You know what I mean?
The trend continued into the 1980s when deregulation exponentially increased the number of radio stations that one company could own. AM 1310 in Oakland, California, a Bay Area legend from the 60s to 70s, but today the frequency is owned by Disney, which offers programming to radio stations nationwide, including 1310, but only from a single source. Today, clone radio has made its way into just about every market. Meanwhile, back in the 70s, most radio stations did music, local news, farm reports, even local talk radio. But that landscape has changed dramatically.
ESPN Radio Sports Center. I'm Bob Picozzi. They are 31-2. They went
in San Francisco, back in 1969, there were 53 radio stations, none of which were cloned. Today, however, 29% of those stations are cloned, with programming coming from elsewhere.
You know, over the years, I've seen all the criticism. I lie just to advance my cause. I lie. I get things wrong on purpose to cover up embarrassing things on what is supposedly my side.
From the late 80s to the 90s, deregulation brought about fewer radio jobs, homogenized music, less community programming, and all of this did not sit well for some in the city by the Bay. And so, enter the Pirates.
All right, and welcome back to San Francisco Liberation Radio News.
Pirate Radio. Arr. They set up shop on an open frequency, 93.7 FM, and brought back local radio and local music in one fell swoop.
This is San Francisco Liberation Radio. My name is John Hell. I will be here until 11 o'clock.
It was Thursday, 2003, and 93.7 FM, Liberation Radio, was raided by the FCC.
I cannot believe it. Could you repeat that, please? This is breaking news. Could you please repeat that?
San Francisco Liberation Radio is being raided by the U.S. Federal Marshals.
And they are now removing your equipment.
That's what they're doing.
93.7 FM, Liberation Radio, its 10-year run now at an end. But there still remains a ray of hope.
We have to make sure that the passage of this bill now translates into 1,000 or more stations across this country.
These low-power FM stations may well mean the return to local programming across the land and in the Bay Area.
The reality is, for once in our lifetime, Congress has passed an act that really works contrary to media consolidation.
Media Alliance is one of a number of groups around the country that's trying to get the word out about these new low-power FM frequencies.
So our role as advocates is to turn that promise into reality and to put together the kind of the technical support network that will get everybody over the hump.
Each new station would have a broadcast radius of about 3.5 miles. As for the programming,
and that can include arts, and it can include culture, and it can include community organizing and environmental work, and it can include local politics. I mean, there's a million different ways.
The time to file for that low-power FM license is in October of 2013. For more information on that process, get in touch with Media Alliance